Hello everyone, this is the Joy of Reading, and welcome to another episode of my Dante series. In this episode, we will start reading the comedy. I already explained the content of this canto in my previous video, but there are still a couple of things I would like to say before we start reading. First of all, this canto doesn't actually take place in hell. Of course, the canto does belong to the volume called Hell of the Comedy, but presently Dante and Virgil are still outside of it. So this is not one of those chapters where Dante meets sinners and speaks with them, which are the most interesting for people who read the comedy for fun. Nevertheless, this chapter is very important because we take a glimpse of Dante's personality and we make acquaintance with his guide Virgil. So let's start reading. As I told you, I will start by reading the text, some lines in Italian, and then I will provide a translation and some explanations in English. Nel mezzo del cammin di nostra vita mi ritrovai per una selva oscura, che la diritta via era smarrita. Ah, quanto a dir qual era, e cosa dura! Esta selva selvaggia e aspra e forte, che nel pensier rinnova la paura. Tanto è amara che poco è più morte, ma per trattar del ben ch'io vi trovai, dirò dell'altre cose che v'ho scorte. Halfway through the journey of our life, I found myself deep in a dark forest, having lost the straightforward path. Alas, it is hard even to say what it was like, this forest savage, dense, and stern, which in the very thought renews the fear. So bitter it is that death is hardly worse. But to treat of the good I found in there, I will tell about the other things I saw. Let's focus on the first line, halfway through the journey of our life. This gives us a very clear indication of when the comedy took place, because according to Dante's own philosophy, the natural duration of a man's life was 70 years. So that means that the comedy took place when he was 35. So Dante found himself in a deep forest, and he doesn't know, and he doesn't tell us how. He just knows that he lost the straightforward path. Of course, this path is not only to be intended as a real one, as an actual street, but more as a path of truth and of God, which Dante has lost. Dante explains to us that it is very difficult for him to recall these events because the very thought of them is still scary for him. Anyway, he found something good during this travel, and then he is going to tell us about that. In the fifth line, we find something interesting, the expression selva selvaggia, which literally means wild wilderness. This is a so-called figura etymologica, meaning that Dante takes two words, a name and an adjective, which share the same root, and he puts them together in order to enhance their meaning. So wild wilderness is written in order to enhance the wilderness. Io non so ben ridir com'io v'intrai, tanto era pieno di sonno a quel punto che la verace via abbandonai. Ma poi ch'io fui ai piedi un colle giunto, là dove terminava quella valle che m'avea di paura il cor compunto, guardai in alto e vidi le sue spalle, vestite già dei raggi del pianeta che mena dritto altrui per ogni calle. I cannot clearly tell how I entered there, so drowsy was I with sleep at the moment I abandoned the truthful path. But when I reached the foot of a hill where that very valley terminated, which had pierced my heart with fear, I looked upwards and saw its shoulders, mantled already with the rays of the planet, which leads all people straight on every road. So Dante states again that he doesn't know how he got there, because he was sleepy when he abandoned the right path. But then, somehow, he gets out of the forest, and again, he doesn't tell us how, and he doesn't apparently know how. He simply tells us that at some point he found himself at the foot of a hill where the valley terminated, so he was already outside of the forest. And then he looks up at the top of the hill, and he says that the top is already lit by sunlight. The planet which leads all people straight on every road is the sun, which according to Dante's own astronomical opinions was a planet. So it is daylight. E come quei che con lena affannata, uscito fuor del pelago alla riva, si volge all'acqua perigliosa e guata, così l'animo mio, che ancor fuggiva, si volse adietro, a rimirar lo passo, che non lasciò giammai persona viva. Poiché posato un poco il corpo lasso, ripresi via per la piaggia deserta, di che il pie fermo sempre era il più basso. And like the one who with panting breath, after coming out from the sea upon the shore, turns back at the dangerous water and gazes, similarly my soul, which was still fleeing, turned back to gaze at the pass that no person ever left alive. After resting my tired body for a while, I resumed my way on the deserted slope, so that the firm foot was always the lower. So here Dante makes a comparison. He feels like one who came out from dangerous water, from the sea on the shore, and then he turns back to look at the danger he has just escaped. Dante does the same thing, so he turns, while still fleeing, he turns his head to look at the forest he had just escaped. Then he rests his tired body for a moment, and then he resumes his way, starting or trying to climb the hill, because he says that his firm foot was always lower, because of course he was climbing. Ed ecco, quasi al cominciar dell'erta, una lonza leggera e presta molto, che di pel macolato era coperta, e non mi si partia dinanzi al volto, anzi impediva tanto il mio cammino, che fui per ritornar più volte volto. And there, near the upgrade of the hill, a leopard, light and very swift, which was covered in a spotted skin. And it did not back off from before my face, but it blocked my way so much that I had to turn around several times. So, Dante tries to climb this hill, but an animal prevents him from doing so. It is Lonza. We don't know exactly whether this was a leopard, a lion, a panther, a cheetah, or whatever. But Dante says that he cannot keep climbing because of this animal, because the animal blocks his way, and Dante has to turn around to back off and walk almost back to the forest. Of course, this leopard or panther or whatever is not just an actual animal. It also represents some sort of sin. Most scholars agree that the sin is probably lust. Anyway, the sin prevents Dante from climbing the hill, and he backs off. So we are done with the first part of the first canto. In my following video I will keep reading the canto, of course. Thank you for listening, and if you're interested in my Dante series, you can follow my channel or my Facebook page, The Joy of Reading. Thank you.